Thank you so much for being here. How are you today?
Thank you for having me. I'm great.
All right, so we're going to go straight to the question. Y20 will discuss 4 priority topics. Can you tell us about them and how will these issues impacted youth?
Okay, actually each year the host of Y20 have a privilege to decide 4 priority areas that considered to be most pressing, and considered as relevant for the global youth. And the discussions and negotiations will result for the communique itself will revolve on this priorities area. And for this year, there are 4 priorities area that we raised for Y20 Indonesia 2022, which are youth employment, digital transformation, sustainable and livable planet, and diversity and inclusions. Our research team have done rigorous research and held some survey, collaborate with the SINT, the organizations based in Japan. We asked the youth about their main concern, and that brought us to these 4 priorities issue. As since the 4 priorities issues are coming from the youth themselves, we expected by discussions by the official delegates, observers, and of course all youth, these 4 priorities areas and also the policy recommendation that will be resulted on the summit will answer the main concerns of the youth and also relevant for the youth itself.
Right. Now, you have discussed about the 4 main topics for the event. Now, what about this year's agenda? Can you elaborate more about that?
Okay. Actually, the agenda of Y20 presidency is starting from the February 2022, starting with the white paper launch, kickoff meeting. We held 4 pre-summits that represent 4 priorities area. And actually today is the day 1 for Y20 summit.
I opened the website and there's a countdown for this event, right?
This is the day 1. All delegates, about 88 delegates have arrived in the venue and preparing themselves to participate in this one of the prominent youth forum in this year.
If it's day 1, what are you doing here? You should be there with them.
Because our show is special, right? But what's also special is about this event because based on my observation, this is actually the first time in Y20 history that people with disabilities, indigenous peoples, and local communities and refugees will be invited as official observers, right? And they will have a seat at the table too. Can you explain more about this?
Actually, not only about the people with disability and something like that, the Y20 or even the G20 itself by nature is very exclusive.
Right.
We will only represented by 4 official delegates that will be discussing in the 4 priorities areas. So the Y20 organizing committee this year designed the whole events of Y20 to be more inclusive with bring the representative from the groups of the people with disability and refugee and something like that. And also we held 4 priorities areas in the 4 cities to engage more youth to be participated in the Y20 presidency.
All right, now if we're talking about the theme for this year's Y20 is From Recovery to Resilience, Rebuilding the Youth Agenda Beyond COVID-19. So can you tell us how can the summit encourage young people to be more inclusive and sustainable amid the pandemic?
Okay, I think the question is related to one of our priorities issue, which is sustainable and planet and also diversity and inclusions. For the diversity and inclusions, one of the subtopic is promoting youth in the creative economy. So we are trying to encourage the youth to have initiative in creative economy, so where the unprivileged youth can have the opportunity to contribute more in economy. We also encourage youth to move from the linear economy to circular economy to achieve the sustainability.
Right, and we understand that Y20 is aiming to bring the communique at the end of the summit and address the issues through actionable policy recommendations to the leaders of the G20, right? Now, could you tell us more about the role of Y20 in regards to this?
Yeah, the result of Y20 itself is the communique that all delegates and observers have to agree on. And but for the Y20 itself, we don't stop here. Not only after producing or creating the Y20 communique, we try to disseminate the Y20 communique after the summit, so the youth itself in Indonesia can understand the issue and can agree on the policy recommendation that resulted in the Y20 communique.
Now, Mujab, I know in the beginning I mentioned that there are more than 88 delegates and observers from G20 member states. But out of curiosity, are there any delegates from Russia or Ukraine?
No, we only invite the delegates from Russia because Russia is involved in the G20 groups.
I see. And what are some of the unusual or unique things from this year's Y20 summit?
Okay, the first thing is we are the first of developing country that hosts the Y20 presidency. So this is the opportunity for us to bring the perspective of developing country in the discussions of the global policy. And aside from the pre-summit that I mentioned before, we held the 4 pre-summit in the 4 cities from the west to east Indonesia: Palembang, NTB, Balikpapan, and Manokwari. We try to engage youth in the local level to be in the discussion, so they can give some feedback to our delegates, official delegates, especially for their official proposal. So the issue the issue will be relevant for Indonesian youth itself.
Yeah, I guess that's for the youth to be more inclusive too,
Yeah.
right? They feel like they're included in this. Do you have any messages for the young generation? I know you're still young too, but
Yes, young yet very
I still
inspiring.
included because based on the law that youth is categorized from the 18 to 30, so I'm still the youth.
Okay. Well, do you have any message for fellow youngsters out there?
Okay, if 20 years later the G20 still exists, we're no longer youth. So this is very important opportunity to us to make sure that Y20 this year is not only belongs to 4 delegates of Indonesia, but also all youth in Indonesia. We are the youth that live in this era, so we'll be the leaders of our future. So let's make sure that policy recommendations, policy created today, is the policy that we all need and will help us to create in better future.
Wow, amazing. All right, thank you so much, Mujab, for sharing with us regarding the event. We wish you success for this whole event.
Pleasure is mine.
Thank you so much for being with us. And now we are going to see together our video coverage about... Sorry.